Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the greatest moments in the Evil Dead franchise. And yes, we're talking about Evil Dead again because, like I've said many times, it is the best franchise of all time, horror or not.
Yeah.
So any excuse to talk about Evil Dead. But we are going to be running down our favourite scenes from each movie. So we've got 5 picks each. What have you got, Jenks?
Yeah, we're going to milk this franchise dry, Nick, because it deserves it. So this is from the 1981's Evil Dead, and it is my favourite scene where Cheryl gets possessed. So not only is this the first ever time we see a Deadite, first time we see a possession, it is probably the most iconic scene. And it's the scene where Linda's trying to pretend to be psychic, where Shelley's reading out the cards, and she's not doing it. And then all of a sudden, then you hear Cheryl in the background saying Ace of Spades, and she's predicting every single card. It is so disturbing. It's so original, and it's a perfect entry, perfect sort of start of the Deadites, of this sort of, they're not just a possessed sort of zombie monster like an exorcist. They do have supernatural powers. And this scene is my favorite. And they even pay homage to it in Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, cracking scene, Jenks. And like what you said about it being a great introduction to the Deadites, these are one monsters I don't want to be anywhere near. Even in the sillier Evil Deads, they're still scary.
Yeah.
And it's just about how strong they are because they're supernatural. Right, so my clip comes just after your scene, Jenks, and we've got the pencil stab. Now, it's just after Cheryl gets possessed and she's reading out all the cards. She ends up stabbing Linda with a pencil in the ankle. And considering how low budget the movie was as well, I can't see the practical effect taking too much effort to build a foot. But it is so impressive, it's so horrific. And I watched this movie young, and I remember it the first time being blown away by how horrible it was. It's probably my earliest memory becoming obsessed with horror. That one scene where the pencil goes in the ankle and knowing that gore was for me and it's what I want to do. It's what I want to watch. But by far the standout scene in the first movie is that pencil.
What makes that scene even worse? It's bad enough getting stabbed, but it's the malice of her going.
Yeah, I know.
You know, just
and she gets possessed then by a pencil.
Yeah, there's no real proper rules to possession. Like Ash kind of gets possessed whenever and then breaks his possession. And some people are completely unscathed by possession. They get blood in their face. But pencil will do it. Why? Nobody knows. Who cares? So we're moving on to Evil Dead 2 now. And you know what? There's so many scenes from this. So I'm just going to keep it simple. I could pick about 20 scenes from this film. It's going to be the one that had most impact on me when I really probably fell in love with the franchise and horror, is when Annie's reading out the words from the Book of the Dead. Oh, no, sorry, the tape recorder. And Henrietta bursts out of the basement when Ash is trapped down there. When she bursts out and that scream that Ted Raimi shouts out, it's so haunting because he's a fucking guy, which makes it even better. He is embellishing this role as Henrietta. It is one of the best kind of, I know she's not a zombie, but one of the best zombie-like designs ever. The makeup, the heaviness of the suit, and it is the ultimate introduction to my favorite Deadite, Henrietta. I love it.
Yeah, spot on, Jenks. I absolutely adore that scene, and it's everything that comes after it. The intensity of Ash trying to get out of the cellar when they're trying to unbolt it, and he keeps hitting the door and he can't get out, and then she's slowly coming up the stairs. Oh, it's such a great scene, and I agree with you. Up until Evil Dead Rise, Henrietta was my favourite Deadite. But yeah, what an amazing design. Ted Raimi did a great job. There's one bit where I think when she's above and she starts screaming and the head shakes.
Yeah.
It is such a great image.
I think Ted Raimi is the second best man dressed up as a woman since Mrs. Doubtfire, I think. Both disturbing in different ways.
What about the fat Dawn of the Dead zombie?
Yes, that is awesome.
In the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I love the way they had to get a guy to do that because no woman could run so brilliantly and horrible as a big fat zombie.
With those prosthetics, like.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant.
Right, my scene is the greatest scene in Evil Dead history. Nothing comes close. Now, there's loads of scenes in Evil Dead 2, right, that stand out. It is my favourite one. It's the best one.
Yeah.
So, like you said, Jenks, we could do a video just on Evil Dead 2.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Where we talk about our favourite scenes. But
Curtis, we probably will.
Yeah, we will. If this does well, we will, right? We'll do each film individually.
Yeah.
The greatest scene in movie history, Jenks, I'll say it, movie history, is the groovy scene. Ash becomes, or Bruce, shall I say, becomes Ash Williams fully. Now, this is the second movie he's done playing Ash, and this is about the halfway mark of the movie when things really start to dial up. Ash makes his way into the workshed with Annie, and he tools up. You see him chainsawing his shotgun. Somehow a double-barrel shotgun works better, you know. And then you've got the gun flip that puts in the back, and then that line when the camera zooms up on his face and he says groovy.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps talking about it, Jenks. It is the coolest scene in movie history.
Groovy. Yeah, you're right. That is, if he was a superhero, that would be his origin moment. That would be when he's got bitten by a radioactive spider and he's just fully formed.
And it's Sam Raimi showing that flair that he still uses these days. You've got those quick shots and quick zoom-ins. It's still something that he's doing today. And yeah, it's the greatest moment in movie history, Jenks. I'll say it.
And he's got and Sam Raimi invented not only a robot hand, but not only a gun that doesn't run out of bullets, but a chainsaw that doesn't run out of petrol. Ever. Yeah.
I seen you going to talk about the robot hand then. Let's leave it out. Yeah.
Is that's your pick from Army of Darkness, probably. Right, we're moving on to Army of Darkness now. And this is my favorite scene. It's a section of the pit that I love. It's not the whole pit story. So the reason I picked this, there's loads of cool scenes from Army of Darkness, but I was lucky enough to see it in the cinema, and it was 1992, so I was 12, maybe 13, and I was a massive fan of Evil Dead by then, and I couldn't believe they were making part 3. And when it started, I didn't like it. I wasn't enjoying it. I didn't like medieval movies. I felt like it was like a war film and like really boring. Oh, these soldiers and these knights. I thought, oh, is this going to be really boring? I felt like quite nervous, and partly because I was about a minute late to the film and I missed the recap of Evil Dead 2. So I just got straight into that when he's marching. I thought, oh, this looks boring, knights and things. And when he got thrown into the pit, I thought, oh, this is getting a bit better. And then when he jumps up and he defies gravity and the chainsaw clicks onto his wrist, all of a sudden I had a rush. I got goosebumps thinking of it now, that I was like, oh, this is an Evil Dead movie. Oh my God. Yeah. I felt this relief. And from that point then I was on board, and I didn't care. It was knights. I didn't care. It was a medieval movie. I was on board. And that's why it's my favorite pick.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I agree with you now, Jenks. I love Army of Darkness. Now, I love it because it keeps the same tone as the second one, but obviously dials up the comedy a bit more. Yeah. But they realised what they had in Ash. Obviously, the first movie, they didn't really flesh his character out as much. They realised what they had, how iconic this character was, how great Bruce Campbell was in the role. And I feel like by the time Army of Darkness came out, they knew exactly what people wanted from Ash, and they delivered. And my scene, again, is very close to your one, and it's another standout moment from Evil Dead. I think it's probably the most popular scene in the whole of the Evil Dead franchise. It's one people always talk about. It's an iconic line, and it's when he gets out of the pit, Jenks, and everybody now realises that this guy is serious business. And he basically just gets to bully them all, and he does his whole speech where he's got his gun, and then you've got that line, Jenks, this is my boomstick. Yeah. It is such an iconic moment, and it's just Ash being the idiot that he is. Yeah. Soon as you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. So he couldn't just get out of the pit and act modest. Yeah. He has to be Ash, he has to go extra. Arrogant. And that's the character that we love.
This is my boomstick!
Yeah, and it's lucky, and you can feel nobody going like, huh, he's pushing them. You could feel like that. All it takes is one person to call his bluff, and it's over. You know he's
Oh,
winging it.
100%. Yeah.
I love. Not to go to the next scene, but I love the fact that the next scene he's getting like serenaded with grapes, and Linda has only just died, really, like a couple of days before. He's forgotten about her from Evil Dead 2. Yeah, great shout. Right, we're moving on to the Evil Dead 2013. Now, this is a remake, it's a sequel. Who gives a shit? I love this movie. There's no ash in it. It is probably one of the greatest movies ever made, one of the goriest movies. It's very difficult to pick one scene, but spoiler alert, wait, wrong way. That's my scene behind me. Oh, see the fucking internet that way. It's when Mia, she becomes the sort of badass at the end. It's very, very difficult to know who the hero is, but she becomes the fight. She's the villain, she's the antagonist, and she becomes the final girl in one movie. Fucking great. So she sticks the chainsaw into the head of the Deadite, splits it in two. And not only is it a brutal scene, and the violence and the way she's reacting to that chainsaw, it's not like a superhuman reaction like Ash, like where he's just slicing them willy-nilly. It looks heavy, it looks like a struggle, and she's driving it down, and the body is splitting in such a disturbing way. Now, it's not even an effect because it's obviously like a dummy, but it just, the dummy, it's got weight to the dummy, isn't it? It doesn't feel like a dummy.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's no close-ups. You just accept, oh, that looks real, even though it's quite dark. But what makes this scene, it's the cherry on top for me, is when the camera pans out, and this is why the director's so great. It pans out and the cabin is on fire, and it's visually beautiful. It's like a work of art. Yeah,
it is. That one shot is a snapshot. That is a painting, and like you said, Jenks, that's why Fede Alvarez is great.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's
anytime that guy. Anytime that guy's got a film coming out, I'll be excited.
Yeah, that's when it shows that you've got a director of a flair to direct. Not like, right, kill him, right, next, blood next. He's like, no, I want that scene in there. I want it on fire. It's perfect.
Yeah, 100%. My scene is one of the nastiest scenes in the whole movie, and it's when Olivia gets possessed and she's in the bathroom and she's basically sawing her face off with a bit of glass, right? And Eric goes into the bathroom to check on her, sees what she's doing, and it breaks out in a fight. And it is one of the most horrific moments in the Evil Dead franchise because of all the stuff that happens in it. You've got the needle in the eye, but not just the needle in the eye, it's the constant stabbing in Eric's face. You've got the bit where she falls back and hits her head on the sink, I believe. And then he picks it up and smashes her face in with it. All the guys outside, they don't know what's going on. They don't even know people are possessed yet. And they walk in, he's on top of Olivia, and he's holding a massive chunk of sink, smashing her face in. And that's when I realised in the movie that, oh my God, we're in for a treat.
Is that the bit where
that was the turning point for me?
Slips on her skin as well?
Yes, yeah.
Slips on her piece of skin, isn't it, from her face?
Yeah.
So how can you make something so disturbing still funny in that moment? It's when you're slipping on someone's face. It's so good.
But you've got that bit as well where the camera really zooms in and you can see him pulling the needle out of his eyelid. Oh, it's horrible.
And the skin is coming with it, like it's like a little pop. Oh, so good. That guy, what's the guy's name again? Sorry, the guy with glasses and blonde hair. Eric. He goes through fucking hell in that movie. Oh,
his hand.
Oh, it's so good, that film. Brilliant. Right. So my last pick is from Evil Dead Rise. We were lucky enough to see this together. And we just started the podcast as well, so it was perfect. And the screen was empty. We had such a good experience, probably one of the best.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But again, this film is absolutely relentless, and there's 20 scenes I could pick, but this is the scene I love. It's not only is it a great scene, but it's a great line, and it makes the scene even better. So again, it's the first time we're seeing that Ellie is possessed. She becomes a Deadite. There's something wrong with her. They put her in a bathtub to cool her down because she's overheating, and then she just starts kicking off, and she's a Deadite. But when she emerges again, the actress performance is incredible. She is one of the best Deadites. Well, probably my favorite possession after Regan from Exorcist. But the daughter, oh no, sorry, it was the son or the daughter, I can't remember, says, Mommy? And she just says, Mommy's with the maggots now. And I'm like, oh my God, that is one of the greatest, most simplest lines ever. It's the perfect use of alliteration with mommy and maggots. And it is fucking haunting. And you're like, it's like, not only are they just saying your mommy's dead, but it's cruel. It's like making fun. She's with the maggots. She's fucked. She's gone. She's not coming back.
Yeah.
Oh. Mommy's with the maggots now.
It's awesome.
And they knew what they had with that one, because that was the marketing of the movie. Now it's become, that line has become bigger than the movie itself. I remember before it came out and after it came out, that's what the movie was. Mommy's with the maggots now, and it's become one of those lines in Evil Dead. That's just become iconic, and that's what makes this franchise so great, is the iconic moments within the films. My scene, it's everything's happened. Ellie's outside of the flat, locked out. The kids are inside the flat. And why I love this scene so much, right, is because it's a great throwback to Evil Dead 2. And that's what this film does great, multiple times. It takes all the tropes from the cabin and puts them in a high-rise, right, in an apartment block. And it's when Ellie's locked outside and she's enticing Cassie to come open the door. And it's such a great scene. It's so creepy. It's probably the scariest scene in the movie. The first scene where I actually felt scared watching it. Because Cassie's so young and naive as well, she's obviously going to believe that her mother's okay now. And she's slowly walking towards the door. Ellie is singing that nursery rhyme, which, again, is just haunting. It's as scary as Hush, Little Baby. And it's the same scene where Annie's mother's trying to entice her to open up the trap door, and she takes her human form again. And when she opens that door, the quick switch to intensity when her arm comes through and she just picks Cassie up off the floor. And again, it just shows how absolutely mean-spirited these Deadites are, because no one is safe. The only thing they want is your flesh. And it's by far the best scene in the movie. All of these films we picked could have their own video, and they probably will, and 20 scenes we could pick from. And do you know what? It's so good to have the fifth in the franchise. Probably you could, if somebody said number 5, Evil Dead Rise is my favorite, I would not argue with them. I would not debate them. No. I would go, yeah, cool. That is fair enough, because they could have 20 points and of reasons, of bullet points of why it's the best, and you wouldn't be able to argue with any of them. 100% agree.
Just preference. Right, guys. If you love horror, if you love ranking, please subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.